Men are going to tell you what type of woman they do and do not like, but they're never going to tell you why. And the reason why they're never going to tell you why is because it's going to reveal a lot about them and their behavior. A baddie is not going to get wifed in most cases. Okay, it's not going to happen. Especially if you're a baddie with a high self-esteem and you have confidence, you're definitely not getting wifed. All the men pretty much say baddies are for recreational use only. And to be honest, you shouldn't take that as an insult. You actually should take it as a compliment. The reason why men see baddies as for recreational use is because the baddie is going to highlight all of his insecurities. That's the reason why men don't like baddies. Men understand that if they're with a baddie, all of their insecurities are going to be brought up to the surface because she's going to be getting attention. She's going to have opportunities. She's going to be able to make money. Men don't want to deal with that shit. Men are always going to avoid anything highlighting their insecurities. That's why a lot of that women need to take accountability. It's projection. Men know that they need to take accountability, yet men avoid everything to put themselves in a position to take accountability. They don't want to pay child support. They don't want to be present in their child's life. They don't want to get a college education. They don't want to have to struggle to be able to become a CEO, become a businessman, be able to make a whole lot of money. Men don't want to put themselves in any type of predicament where they have to be held accountable. Getting a baddie would put men in a predicament to be held accountable. This is why they tend to marry women who are average looking. An average looking woman will not allow a man to be held accountable. An average looking woman is not going to make a man look at his insecurities. An average woman is going to make a man feel like him being a man is enough. Okay? Because she's average, he's average. He doesn't have to think about, I don't want her looking like that, going out like that, because then she's going to get all the attention. Then I can't get any of the attention. I don't want to be able to go to a place and she's the star of the show and I'm not the star of the show. In my experience, most of the women that I've seen that were wives, I'm sorry, they don't look like nothing. I'm not saying that they're ugly, but the level of beauty that they possess is the reason why you look at a lot of beautiful women and then you will question, like, why is that beautiful woman out with somebody? Why is she not married to somebody? That's why. Men don't want to be with a woman that they would have to see themselves in competition with. Now, there are plenty of men who will do that because they want to bring her down, okay? But I'm just saying that when it comes to something that has longevity in a man's mind, it's easier to use a woman who is average looking. Okay. Also, another thing, the reason why women are baddies and why you should actually take it as a compliment that if you're a baddie, men are going to say that, like, oh, you're good for recreational use only. The reason being is because you being good for recreational use only means that you have free time to still be a baddie. Always remember that. If you're for recreational use only, you have more free time to continue to be a baddie. When you're an average woman, you don't have time to be a baddie. That's why they want the average woman. Men are going to go after the average woman that doesn't put a whole lot of time into herself. No, I'm not saying that because you're average, you don't put time into yourself. I'm saying that in addition to being average. So you being average and not putting any time into yourself, that is the type of woman that they want. Right? Because if she doesn't put any time into herself already while she's single, that means she has time to give that man. That means she has time to give her children. That means that the man doesn't have to argue with her wanting to watch her child or her going for a spa day. Her wanting to go on vacation with the homegirls versus her wanting to stay at home while her boyfriend is on vacation. She just at home doing absolutely nothing. This is literally how men are constantly weighing the options in their head. And I literally made a video about this because my father admitted this shit to me. This is why men, they're never going to tell you the why. They're only going to just tell you what it is. But they're never going to give you the context behind it. They're just going to give you vague ass answers such as, oh, it's just more peaceful. Okay, what makes it more peaceful? They're never ever going to actually dig deep into the psychology of what they're thinking because they want you to be ignorant about their reasoning because they want you to still give them an opportunity. They still want you to give a fuck about what they think because it gives them power. It makes them believe that they're running something. As a woman, When you're a baddie, you should be so privileged to not be married. You should be so privileged to not be married, because you being married means that a man's going to come into your life in most cases. He's going to take away all the freedom and time and energy that you would then have, that you're currently using to be a baddie. Because a lot of men know that being a baddie takes work. Don't sit here and ever fucking be fooled. Men know that it's a full-time fucking job to be a baddie. You think that body is shaping itself when you're fucking sleeping? No. These men know that you're at the gym. They think that your skin, you just wake up and your skin's like this. No. They know you're using fucking skincare that costs money. They know you're going out for facials. This hair that looks healthy, they know you're using salon-only products. You're paying $500 or $600 for a curly hair specialist or a colored specialist, or, you getting these fucking weaves and extensions that cost $1,000, $2,000. They know that shit costs. That's too much for them. Okay, that's going to highlight the fact that he's broke too. That's why I said it's going to highlight all his insecurities. It's going to highlight the fact that he has no money, he's broke. And it's also going to highlight the fact of his insecurity, because at the end of the day, a man can have all the money in the world, but if he's insecure about how other people perceive him, if he's insecure about himself fitting in, it don't matter how much money he's got. He won't want to be with a baddie, because that's going to highlight the insecurity that he has about his looks, about his appearance, about how other people value him and perceive him. So even men having money is not going to be enough. And men understand this. But men have to have a tight fist onto their masculinity. That's the level of vulnerability that you're rarely going to get from a man that's going to expose that. Thankfully, I've gotten enough men to tell me that that's what it is. Men could be in my comments bitching all day long. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Baby, I've done the data time and time again in my own personal life. Men straight up admit this shit to me. A baddie is too much of a liability. It's going to require too much of a man. Men are inherently lazy. They want to sit back, have an average woman that's just happy that he's there, because that's all that men want a woman. That's all that men care about a woman really valuing. That's the reason why a lot of men don't put effort in a relationship, because they want an average woman that's just happy that he's there. He don't got to work. He don't got to be good in bed. He ain't got to contribute nothing to the household. He ain't got to do no domestic labor. She just glad that he exists. And that's typically the mindset of a lot of average women, because they are getting their status through a man, because they're not able to get it through having a higher level of beauty or a higher level of accomplishment. They're going to get it through having a man, because we still live in a society where women get social credit based off of how adjacent they are to a man. So don't ever be fooled. Don't ever take it to heart if you're a baddie and these men are saying that you're for recreational use only. Being for recreational use only means that you have more time for your own fucking recreations, and you can hold on to your beauty without your energy being siphoned by some man, or by having a man that's in competition with you and just wants to stay there to humble you and prevent you from continuing to be a baddie.